Hello, I'm Michael with Writer Sanctuary, and today I'm going to talk about whether or not you can make $25 an hour as a level 4 in Textbroker. A level 4, or a 4-star rating, in Textbroker comes with a lot of perks. First of all, there just seems to be more work in the open pool available for level 4. This means it's much easier to come across orders that you're more comfortable writing. But just don't stick with one category, though. Expand it to a different niche from what you normally write to see if you find something that piques your interest. When I first started Textbroker, I was focusing purely on computers and networking. However, I found that I was very fond of writing articles for business, marketing, and travel. You see, I have a thing with learning as much as humanly possible. I love to learn new stuff. And writing articles outside of my comfort zone gives me an opportunity to learn more about that subject matter. Which means I have a lot of useless information rolling around in my head that I'll probably never use in the near future. But it makes me feel comfortable because I know a lot of stuff. Also makes me quite versatile. And this is because I put in a great deal of research in every article I write for a client, even if it's something that I know. Because I would like to give my clients a piece of content that is accurate and up to date. And for new writers, I would suggest testing the waters a bit and going into different categories and seeing if there's something there that you might be interested in writing. I had no idea that I would love writing about travel so much. This is coming from somebody who never travels. But I love doing research on things out in the world. I wish one day that maybe I'll be able to experience them, but for now, there's Google. Even take the time to explore some of the categories that you don't think you do very well in. Sometimes you'll find that perfect article that just piques your interest. Another benefit of having 4 stars in Textbroker is the amount of teams that are available. In fact, most of the money that I've made over the past 7 years have been from teams. There's one team in particular that I've been a member of since 2013. Coincidentally, it's also the team that I make the most money on and surpass $25 an hour easily. This is because the articles that they want are super easy to write, barely an inconvenience. Being a 4-star author also boosts your appearance to clients who want to send direct orders. I'm not saying that level 3 authors can't get direct orders, in fact you can. But for most clients, they like the level 4 and level 5 authors. This is because most clients are likely to spend the extra little bit of money on top for a level 4 author because of the professionalism and skill that comes with it. So what do you need to make $25 an hour? Well, to make $25 an hour as a level 4, you would need to type 1,786 words every hour. And if you're looking for a full-time wage to bring in $200 a day, that pushes it up beyond 14,000 words. Of course, this is based purely on 1.4 cents a word as what the open pool pays for writing. And since my average is around 1,100 words, I'm only going to bring in $15.40 an hour from the open pool. Now, I'm not saying making $25 an hour is impossible, but it's going to take you a lot of typing. Now, when you're looking for teams, it makes reaching that $25 an hour a hell of a lot easier. For example, I'm on a few teams that pay 1.7 cents a word. This means I would need to push 1,471 words an hour, which is conceivable if I'm on a good team that doesn't have a lot of requirements to it. But let's take my favorite level 4 team that I'm on. It only pays 1.32 cents per word, which is lower than the open pool. However, the content is so easy to write, I can easily surpass 2,100 words an hour. This pushes my potential to make money to closer to $28 an hour. Now, I can't say that every team is like this. In fact, I'm on a few teams that slow my production down to a crawl. But the right set of teams can keep you working for years on end. And lastly, one of your best areas for making $25 an hour on Textbroker is by direct order clients. This is because you're able to set how much money clients will pay you for direct orders. In fact, you can determine per client amounts based on the amount of effort it takes you beyond writing text. For instance, there's been times where I charge more than 3 cents a word because the content that the client wanted was way beyond just writing. The sheer amount of research that went into each piece would slow me down exponentially. So in order to make up for the lost time that I would spend writing, I would increase my pay per word. It's fair to me, it's fair to the client, and it makes sure that I'm well compensated for the amount of effort I put into every article I write. One client in particular used to send me nearly $40 a day for just over an hour's worth of work. Now, part of this is because I'm easy to work with and clients love my quality. I can't guarantee that you'll find diamond clients like this, but they're a lot more common than you might think. And the amount of money that you can make is definitely worth the effort of trying to find one. Now, between this particular client and the team orders I used to write, I would bring in about $400 for writing 16 hours a week. And sometimes I kick myself in the ass because I know I could have made so much more money. But in the end, it all comes down to effort. Because when you procrastinate and you have a bout with laziness, it makes it really difficult to succeed as a freelance writer from home. But making $25 an hour in Textbroker as a level 4 is entirely possible. However, it's going to take you a lot of work to reach that amount. And this says nothing about the days where the workflow is non-existent. To be successful as a freelance writer, whether you use Textbroker or not, it comes down to being able to sustain an income. This means you should have weekly goals about how much money you need to bring in. Doing one 5-star order in Textbroker to make $50 inside of an hour means nothing if you can't do it every day. And that's probably one of the most frustrating aspects of any content mill. You need enough work to keep yourself busy throughout the entire week. Now today, the lulls in Textbroker are pretty far in between. But back when I started, it was common to go days without any work, which is why I diversified myself by writing for more than just one content mill. So what can you do to improve your chances of making $25 an hour? First and foremost, your greatest asset is going to be speed. After all, the quicker you can complete an order, the more you can do inside of an hour. Obviously, typing speed is going to be one of the biggest factors. But you also need to develop a good strategy for when it comes to research. That is, if you need to look up facts for the article. Personally, I set up a second monitor to run on my computer screen specifically for this purpose. I'll tell you what, having the second monitor has been a lifesaver. In fact, nowadays I find it a pain in the ass if I don't have dual monitor support. So when I travel and take my laptop, I get frustrated easily when trying to write for a client. You also need to develop a good method of looking up information. And I'm not just talking about Googling it. What sites have the best information? How many sources should you collaborate the information with? How do you spot fake facts? The better your technique at research, the easier it'll be to find the information you're looking for the client. Now this contributes greatly to the amount of time it takes you to complete an order. Next is don't worry about excessive language. Now when I first started Textbroker, I was using higher language skills. It made the content more difficult to read, clinical, and clients really didn't like it all that much. Personally, I find it easier to write for an 8th grade reading level, which is good considering that's what the average internet user is. For one thing, that's about perfect for the Flesh reading score, which impacts visitor retention and SEO. And these are two aspects that clients completely love. And the last thing that's going to vastly improve your chances for making $25 an hour on Textbroker as a level 4 is being able to churn out one order after another. It's called a content mill for a reason. Go from order to the next as quickly as possible. Just make sure you put in high quality work in the process. During my prime, I would produce about 10 articles a day. Of course, this also depends on the length of the article and what the client was looking for. But don't take the entire 24 hours to turn in a piece. One of the reasons why a lot of clients and teams come to me is because I do have a fast turnaround. As soon as I accept a job, I'll work on it until it's completed, which is often around 20 to 30 minutes depending on the size. Something else that'll help you is to get on as many teams as possible. Even though some of these articles might take a little bit longer to write, the constant flow of work from these teams will ensure that your Friday payouts are higher than the $10 minimum. And I can't stress this enough. Always communicate with your clients, even those that are in the open pool. Because you never know when your professionalism will inspire these clients to start sending you direct orders. In fact, I've turned a few open pool into direct order clients because I was professional, courteous, and interactive. And this winds up increasing your pay per article. So what's your greatest weakness when it comes to making money as a freelance writer? Leave in the comments down below. For me, it was settling on making enough to pay the bills and then dicking around the rest of the day. Well, lately I haven't been wasting too much time because I've got so many other projects that I'm trying to get off the ground, But I tell you, I could have made so much more money if I would have just been so lazy and focused on making more rather than just the minimum that I needed. If I could have just focused my efforts in the past. But if you find the video informative, hit the like button. If you want to learn more about Textbroker, freelance writing, Wattpad, or WordPress, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications. I think that's going to do it for me today. I'll see you tomorrow.